limited to a few. It must be for all. Open source hardware and software play a critical role in this journey. They lower barriers, accelerate innovation, empower learners, developers, and industry to build without constraints. And that is why this conversation matters. To take us deeper into how this vision is being realized, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Fabio Violante, VP and GM Arduino, who will share how Arduino is advancing AI democratization globally. Fabio, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. It's a big pleasure to be here today. So India is in my heart always. Pleasure meeting all the clever people that you have in startups, in schools, and also in enterprise. So today we need to be quick because we have a lot going on in this presentation. And I would like to start talking about, a little bit what is happening in the world. So, and what happens with the AI when AI becomes physical. This is very important because we are living in a moment in time where AI is no longer abstract, it's no longer just software, but it is in farms, it is in industry, it is on your body with a wearable device. And of course, this requires a different pace in developing innovation. There is an old way with closed system, with elite access only, and few thousand engineers developing code and developing hardware. But the new way that is very needed for physical AI is based on open platforms. It is based on accessible technology for everyone. And it's also a much broader developer base that is required. So I think India has a lot of superpowers. This is very, very important because we are in a country that has some secret weapons. First of all, scale. India is a gigantic country with a lot of smart people. And this is very, very important. But India also is used to cope with constraints that are becoming a big opportunity because you have real-world limitation in energy, for example, or sometimes in accessing networks, and people have to build a real solution to those problems. And this solution will become an opportunity for creativity. And I think creativity is the key when it comes to physical AI, because basically what you build are not only prototypes, but these are resilient systems that can be applied on a much broader scale in different areas. So this is, I think, your secret weapon and something that is pretty unique in the world. So what is happening with physical AI is that intelligence is moving at the edge. So this means that you are running AI algorithms close to sensors, close to motors, actuators, and also to people. And in other words, when intelligence moves closer to the physical world, hardware matters again, because you are very close to where the problem is. It's no longer in a data center far away from you. And this needs more design and integration. So not just assembling things, but rapid iteration and system thinking. This is very crucial. So people need to be fast because the problems are continuously changing, data are continuously changing. And we believe, as Qualcomm and Arduino, that India is ready and is positioned really to compete in this world. Just a bit of history about Arduino. I don't know if you are familiar with the history of Arduino, but just a few words. So this is the place where Arduino was born. But Arduino was not born as a company. Arduino was an idea that came from faculty of this school. It's called Interaction Design Institute of Ivrea. That is a small city, a small village north of Torino in the northern part of Italy. This was one of the first schools in the world about 25 years ago, teaching physical computing, so bringing intelligence to physical objects. And this is how it started, because the faculty of this school basically had a challenge. The challenge was to let people with different backgrounds, not only electrical engineers, but also designers, medical doctors. So the students in this school had a very big diversity, but they didn't know how to program software, but also how to make hardware. So the challenge, so the person in the picture is one of the co-founders, the most important co-founder of Arduino, Massimo Banzi, that basically reverted the paradigm. So instead of frontal education, he was teaching project-based learning to enable those people to start getting some results and then understand what was the technology behind these things. And by developing continuously prototypes, they had the challenge that every project was one of a kind. So they came up with this idea of finding the smallest possible computer available that was the microcontroller in terms of computing. And then they had the challenge of creating a language that would be easy to learn for people without an engineering background. And this is how they came up with the idea of creating a board that could be standardized for all the projects for the students. 7 years later, this project became so successful because it was also, and this is very important, open source. Was the first large-scale open source hardware and software project in the world beside the Linux operating system. So they came up with the idea of creating a company, and as many of you probably know, there is always a struggle in finding a good name for projects, for startups, etc. So they were having the same struggle. So they were sitting in a bar in Ivrea called Bar Arduino. So at some point they were fed up of not finding a name, so Massimo came with the idea of calling the project with the name of the bar. So Arduino is the name of the bar where they were sitting. So talking about India, you see in this chart the number of downloads of the Arduino IDE, that is our on-premises development tool, in the last 12 months. More than 36 million downloads of the IDE globally. But look at the bar there, the green bar, is India, the second largest community in the world. So, and there's been always the second largest community. The swap that happened in the last 3 months is that China went over US. So US was number 1 and China was number 3, and they swapped. Don't ask me why. But you see how many people are using Arduino, both with official products, very little, and also with clones product or compatible products. This is very important because there is a huge community of people using our platform. So what we have seen, I've been with Arduino for the last 10 years as CEO, now part of Qualcomm, and we identified a path. So basically, a path for people developing on Arduino. So from the exploration phase, when you do prototypes, to building and creating working prototypes, to deployments in a smaller scale, to scaling, because Arduino is not only used by educators and individuals, but is now pervasive also in small, medium enterprise and also departmental initiatives of large enterprise. So this is very, very important because this is a pattern that we identified, and it's basically a journey that we see for a lot of young people, like the majority of the crowd in the room and the people that probably are following us. So there is a new way of becoming developers and thinking about integration of hardware and software. So the idea, of course, is to move from prototyping to platform. This is very important because you need to start thinking about how to scale in order to have an impact in our society. So we know for sure that India prototyped fast. Just a few seconds ago, I took a picture with the team here in the room, and they were showing a nice robot for disaster management and environmental protection. So, and this prototype was built with a bunch of Arduinos, and with the Arduino software. So for sure you know how to prototype fast. So the point is that if you want to impress, a prototype is the right thing to do. You do nice prototype, like the, the prototype that I just saw. But if you transform the prototype into a platform, the platform endures. So it's very, very important to have this paradigm shift, because basically this allows you to scale. And the point, I think, for India is that if you start managing this transition from basically prototyping to platform, you don't create just yet another startup. So the world is packed with startups. But if you create a global platform that can go within India, but also beyond the boundaries of India, you have a real impact. So the platform that you build shape industries. So there are a few things that are very important in order to get from prototyping to platform. First of all, thinking about manufacturing pathways. So creating accessible route from design to production. This is very, very important. The hardware capital. So investments that understand hardware reality, because hardware is hard. So this is an important paradigm shift that especially people involved in supporting those startups and this ecosystem needs to understand. So India is known for a service economy. So basically, it's more frugal working capital kind of mindset. When it comes to hardware, you have to think long term. And I'm really proud to be part of the Qualcomm family, because today we just announced a fund specifically for India of 150 million for early stage startup. So we were with the CEO of Qualcomm, Cristiano Amon, this morning, and with our Qualcomm venture team that has a presence in India, pretty strong, and they announced this investment. It's really huge, because Qualcomm is a company that can provide money, but also is a technology company. I have been acquired in my previous life once, and we had a sales company with a little bit of technology. So if you look at Qualcomm, it's exactly the reverse. It's just a gigantic R&D focused on innovation, from 2 nanometers chipset to very advanced software-defined radio for every kind of communication network. So basically, having this fund is extremely important. So get in touch, look at the press today, because you will see the announcement. And then, of course, there is a call also for the education part, because we have to start teaching not only what to do and why you do those things, but also teach about how to start productizing things. So my learning when I joined Arduino from a PhD in software, I didn't know anything about hardware. So getting from ideas that were shiny and very nice into things that you can scale adds a lot of complexity. You have to design for manufacturing, you have to think what components you're using, how to rationalize your bill of material, all things that you will approach once you get into the product world. So I strongly believe, and as a company, strongly believe that basically the physical AI is going to be transformational for the next decade. It's very, very important. So AI at the edge, intelligence inside machines, device, robot, infrastructure, everything will be transformed. And this will help support lower latency, better privacy, and basically increase reliability of the system. So this is a very important part. So the other point is ambient intelligence. So basically making intelligence invisible, so that basically you don't have to add complexity to people's life. You are removing complexity by hiding intelligence into a solution. But all these things that are nice words that you see on my slide, they have only one way to be developed. So you need builders, and you don't need builders in the ivory tower. You don't need like a few builders that are sitting in the best university of Bangalore, Delhi, Milano, or San Diego, or San Francisco. You need like a large number of people coming with different background, just as I was telling the history of Arduino, they take the problem, approach the problem, slice the problem, and learn while doing things. This is, I think, the secret sauce for success. So I think that, just quickly recapping, India has the democratic, the culture, the developer density, the ambition, and the urgency. This morning we were with the Ministry of Electronics, Communication and Transportation, one of the smartest person that I ever met in my life, talking about exactly this topic, urgency, ambition, and potential. So, and the young population you have is like really, really important, because basically new ideas come from people that approach the problems with a fresh mindset. So if we give the right tools, access, platform, so we will have a country that is not going to be a follower or just implementing someone else's thoughts, but can be a country that shapes the future. So I think we don't need another Silicon Valley replica. So every time, so I come from Europe, you know, we are not, Italy is not really known, even though we have nice startups and companies, but basically it's not known for being like the Silicon Valley. But all the VCs and everyone, the ecosystem, they keep saying, we need to build the Silicon Valley of Europe. So basically we don't need another Silicon Valley. What we really need in this country is an Indian model for physical AI, built at scale, under constraint, because these constraints will not go away, but basically everything is more affordable. And I think one of our, mission for Arduino is to make technology accessible by lowering the barrier to entry in terms of cost of the products, in terms of complexity to learn those products. So if we do all of this, I think there is a very important India moment that we need to exploit. So just a simple call to action before wrapping. So basically, there are few actors. So we have to talk about an ecosystem of actors. There are educators. The important thing is that you are very effective in teaching your discipline, but you have to teach confidence, not just curriculum. That's a very important point. Let students build before they feel ready. So this is very important. You saw Massimo making a project with students. This is the right approach, in my humble opinion. Students, you have to start before you feel qualified. It seems strange, but with platforms like Arduino today, you can start and get to the final result and then say, okay, what can I change? What do I need to learn to change and make an impact? Startups. So the point is, we don't need one-off startups, prototyping startups, because these companies will not get funded, will go nowhere. If you design for repeatability, for pattern that can be scaled beyond the boundaries of your school or your startup or your house, then you will have a likelihood to succeed that is 1 million times bigger. And of course, industry. So you have fantastic companies here, naming some like Tata. So it's a global player. So automotive technology. So you have appliance companies. You have everything already in place. But those companies, they have to open their platforms. So to create more synergies with education, more synergies with startups, with students, and also policymakers. They have an important role, of course. They have to accelerate pathway from lab to factory. There are a lot of initiatives, and we will see them in a minute. Some practical example of collaboration of important institution with industry, and this is something that needs to be continuously facilitated. So I think just wrapping with a single sentence is that together we can create not just innovation, but we create capabilities, and those capabilities compound. So that's, to me, very important message that I would like to convey, and then leave the stage to my colleague that is Senior Director of Sales, Global Sales at Arduino, Gunit Bedi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fabio. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody here. I wanted to give you a little bit of a next step analysis and announce some collaborations that we're very excited about in the Indian context. As you see, Arduino as an ecosystem is an ecosystem built for really hands-on and both from a learning as well as prototyping to production. We have various functions in here, which is for developers, makers, for education, but also for industry. Today, you will see a perfect example of collaboration, which is from school to career. right? So you will see examples of where we're partnering with really, really amazing companies locally to start in the K-12 school space, get into the higher education university space. We see some innovations coming from students on, the innovation that can happen and very quickly, in an innovation contest. And then we'll also talk about some industry use cases which are being deployed at platform and at scale with some of our partners, right? So we'll see all that today. One thing which I wanted to leave you guys with before we get into the announcement pass is, a lot of you might know Arduino as a starting point of a very basic 8-bit microcontroller, but we've come a long way, right? And I think this is very important for you to understand. The latest product portfolio we've launched as a part of the Qualcomm family actually gives very advanced AI capability at the edge. So we call it the UNO Q, and the tagline we have internally is from blink, all of you remember blinking in LED as your first project, to think. How can we actually have thinking happening at the edge and without the dependency on the cloud, as Fabio was talking about, right? Because everything cannot just happen on the cloud, especially in India, right? This is very, very important. You'll see some examples of how constraints are actually a strength that we have as a country. And we can drive that towards global innovation. So I think that's very, very important to see. That's a new product if you haven't seen it. That's a new collaboration. I call it a platform. This is what we will use to create a huge ecosystem in India to create everything from learning to curriculum to doing to actually a lot of additional industry experiences which will come in and drive an ecosystem of a single board computer. So I think it's very important for us to take this next step from basic electronics into the age of AI, which is perfect because we're at the AI Impact Summit, and this is good to see that AI can be available in less than 6,000 rupees, right? So I think it's really important to kind of put that in. Today, in addition to the $150 million fund that Fabio talked about for startups, we're launching a program in India called AI for All, right? AI should not be limited to the ivory tower. As you said, Fabio, I think it should be for all. We will use this to educate millions and millions of learners. The idea is to educate. Of course, do the education with experience. Of course, I grew up in India, all parts of India. My father was in the army, and then I've been living in the US for about 19 years now. And it's amazing to see the difference of instructor-led learning versus self-paced learning that we see across the different Western and Eastern world. And I think there's no right or wrong. But the right is the mix. If we can mix the combination of instructor-led and the self-paced learning, I think that will be very interesting. And of course, we want to use this for scale. And the scale will come with you guys creating solutions which will actually solve real-world problems, as well as the funding will help to drive ecosystem of startups, right? So I think that's the AI for All program. And with that, I'd like to invite on stage one of our first strategic partners. We have a couple of partners coming in from here, from the Arvind Mafatlal group, as well as from Get Set Learn. So I'd like to invite on stage to announce the collaboration with Mr. Privatra Mafatlal, who's the Managing Director, and Mr. Amit, who's the CEO of Get Set Learn. Please come on stage. We'd like you to come and talk about Get Set Learn. I don't know why the slides are running. They're excited to see you. Hi, that's good to see you. Thank you for making the trip. By the way, it's his birthday today. So look at his commitment that he come all the way from Mumbai for this event.
Wouldn't have missed it.
Yes, and Amit, yes, thank you. We'll get some mics for you guys, and I'd love for you to kind of guide us on what you're doing and how you're enabling AI for all.
No, I wouldn't have missed it. Thank you, Guneet. Thank you to the entire team. And we're extremely excited to work with both Arduino and Qualcomm. We have grand plans to look at the education space, and hopefully in the next 1 or 2 years we're going to see millions and millions of learners actually benefit from this. But thank you guys.
Thank you so much. I know we've spoken about this a lot, and I think Fabio and Guneet have covered most of it. Essentially, the mandate and the vision is to bring schools to careers and put employability as the focus. We are going to create a workforce of almost 250 million people from India. And to do that, we kind of bringing an integrated future skills curriculum. We're bringing content on devices, as well as we are trying to automate the ATL labs and kind of make them far more effective than they are currently. So having said that, I'm very excited for the vision that we are building with Arduino and Qualcomm, and here's looking to the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. We look forward to the partnership. Oh, I don't need 2 mics. And I think the important thing I want to also talk about is K-12 is the foundation of where these learning skills starts. Arvind Mafatlal Group and Get Cert Learn will be the partner who will drive that innovation jointly with us, create curriculum, and drive that. Thank you. Drive that going forward. With that, we took this principle of hands-on learning in reality. We had 100 teams which participated in an innovation challenge from various universities, and we only gave them 2 weeks. And we gave them the board, we gave them some kits and said, let's come up with some ideas of real world problems. Today we're going to, Fabi, if I could request you to come on stage to award the teams. We're going to award the top 3 teams. We got 37 projects, 20 of them made the cut of our engineering team. So our engineering team reviewed every project. And the top 3 teams are here today. They were also showcasing their demo on the Qualcomm booth. If you have time, please go to Bharat Mandapam and see the demos there. It's very, very fascinating. The first team which created this solution was a smart stick. And this was a very interesting idea because you're taking it from your wearable into an elderly cane or an elderly stick. And the idea there is you can do real-time biometrics analysis, as well as you can do algorithms and AI at the edge without any dependency on cloud if somebody is falling. So you can very quickly alert as well as protect and make lives better for very elderly. So I'd like to invite on stage the IIT Delhi team, which is Madhav and Aman, who did this project in actually less than 2 weeks. They said they took them 4 days. So next time we'll give you a bigger challenge. Madhav, please come. Aman, please come on stage and please get your award. We're giving you a special UNO Q board edition, which you can put in your college and feel proud about it. Please come in the middle so that. Please give a big round of applause to Madhav and Aman. And the professor who's the mentor, yes, very important. Yes, actually, Professor Dubey is saying, can you guys share your experience for a quick minute? I know it was actually less than 5 days because you got the boards late. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think you pretty much covered what the idea was. So the idea behind this project was essentially monitor the biomedical parameters of our elderly without interfering with their ways. So essentially, without having them to wear something else, wear some chest monitor, remember to wear a watch, we could monitor their biomedical parameters right from the stick itself, have inference on the edge, and without having any cloud connectivity and proper data safety, you could analyze his biomedical parameters for anomalies and be able to predict falls and tell them to probably rest using some feedback mechanisms. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good job. The next project which won was an AI for all physical AI edition, which was really built on a similar technology, or similar problem statement, I should say, to detect fall. Again, could be elderly, could be somebody who's not well, but they were able to use UNO Q with one of our Modelinos and create an algorithm completely at the edge to actually detect a fall and prevent a fall. So this is the team from the Adani University, Ashish, Priyanshi, Dharam, and Martin. If you guys could come on stage, please, and take your award. Good job, guys. Very good. Guys, really, really, really creative. Please give them a big round of applause. Good job, Team Adani. Very nice. Would you like to share a few words, any of you?
So yeah, it was a very less time for us. And one more thing, one parallel event was going on in our university, so doing both of that at the same time was a little bit hectic for us, but then too, yeah, so as you have told, it was a fall detection. So we have encouraged, what we have focused on, most of the time, many elderly, one of our relatives which fall, and due to that they have to gone through surgeries and all those stuff. That's why I thought we should make something so they can prevent, or they shouldn't lose the golden hour of treatment. So we thought of make this.
Very nice, very good idea. Thank you, good job. And the next team is coming all the way from Calicut. So this is the NIT Calicut team, and they did a helmet detection safety program, which is very, very interesting. As you guys know, we can have as much police as we want, but the idea is helmet is for your own safety. They did a vision detection system, which allows you to start the two-wheeler only if you have a helmet on. And as soon as you take the helmet off, the ignition stops. So they did a full loop without any need of the cloud. I think it's a very interesting solution. They should talk to Qualcomm Ventures. I think that's a very good idea. And there's a big, serious problem. I know that. Yeah, I have a turban, so slightly different. I don't need a helmet, but still, I've seen all my friends not ride with helmets, which is interesting. So please welcome on stage the NIT Calicut team, Shabrish, Sriram, and Sri Krishna. Very good job, guys. Please give them a big round of applause. Would one of you like to share some words and your experience?
So we had almost 2 nights to come up with this idea after getting the board a little late. So basically it is, AI-enabled safety interlock for your vehicles. In the crux of it, it just does not allow you to ride your vehicle unless you have a helmet. So we know how we overlook the helmet. We just think it's a short ride, let us not wear a helmet. But in that short ride, the possibility of a casualty is not zero. So something like this will save a lot of lives and will save you from the bills which you pay to the police department as a fine. So this is an idea which could be potentially helpful to a lot of people in our country especially. So that's it. Thank you.
How long did it take you to do this, and how was your experience?
We took 2 nights, and it was a very interesting experience. We didn't sleep. We were just up overnight, and we were trying to figure out the new board. Actually, the documentation and everything is new, and we were trying to figure out everything. And it was a very great experience, actually.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good job, guys. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Fabio. Thank you for awarding. And I know Fabio loves to do this, award all the students. This is the prototype. Let's take this to scale. So to take this to scale, we have a partner who's very interesting. The partner is, the co-founders have tons of experience in higher education. They've been doing this for multiple decades. They don't look as old, but they have a lot of experience. I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Naval Shakla and Mr. Mahesh Kanalwal. And I think the idea there is to really talk about how we will take this from a scaling into the higher education side of things. And really make this example that we saw available to hundreds and thousands of students.
Thanks, Gunit. As the Fabio mentioned that, the Arduino has been trying to look at the ecosystem. I think I remember a few months back when Gunit mentioned that, if you can work together on the higher education side of it, I think both of us come from publishing background. We work for possibly the top 5 international publishers there. So we've been dealing with content and all. But it's been an interesting experience to build this whole ecosystem. So when we talk about the university education in India, we largely talk about a theoretical framework, right? So when we got this mandate from Arduino, we started thinking about it that, how do we build this ecosystem? So what we did that, the first curriculum we brought in was a prototyping curriculum, So this was a 4-credit, 60-hour curriculum, which is largely, helping student at the base level, because what's happening in higher education in India that, possibly the 50% of the student who are doing the computer science, IT, AI kind of courses, from the year one itself, they talk about the software, right? So they don't really deal with the hardware. So we thought that, it's important that, to look at that, how do we engage them in the hands-on education. And with my colleagues, Mukesh and Hardik, we started this journey. And within less than a month's time, I think with the kind of research and with the kind of reviewers' help and all, assistant, we could build this up, So now we have the curriculum, which is for prototyping. And when we talk about prototyping, the journey started that, how do we build a master curriculum? And then we started working on application for various industries like plastic, biotechnology, textile, design, all those areas. So, as the journey started with master, then we got into creating another 12 specialized curriculum with a lot more application driven to these 12 fields. My colleague Hardik, who heads the training and content for us, yesterday, last couple of days, he's been training the professor in SRM University in Chennai on automobile engineering side of it, it's amazing, this thing, So on that, we have started already training the student. So idea here is that, how do we build, how do we get the prototyping curriculum in the engineering curriculum so that we build this hands-on base there. And then we build 2-semester course on Edge AI, which we can call it as Edge AI, Edge Computing, or Physical AI. So different university may like to call it differently, but with the different feedback from this thing, then we talked about much detailed curriculum later on. On the lab infrastructure side of it, we already have the support from Arduino on the creating 10 COEs and the smart prototyping lab for the colleges who just want to introduce the prototyping curriculum. So these are the content we already built in. I think we'll also take this opportunity to launch first 2 book on Edge AI through this. And we'll request the Gunit and Fabio to just come with us. So these are the kind of learning content we've already developed on it. Most probably this will be launched, the full curriculum will be available by April. And the faculty professional development program also been built there. The event, the National Hackathon, as we speak, I think we are already working on it. It's going to be a very large format. We are building possibly one of the largest format in the National Hackathon. And last but not the least, we are talking about the community engagement, the campus ambassador program. In our earlier this thing, we have built some of the large campus engagement programs in the publishing operations. So something like that we like to repeat here, next slide. So yeah, so this is the outcome. I think our target is to connect with 2.2 million students in close to 16 to 80 months time. And 80,000 faculty professional development is what we intend to do it, And finally, these are the Edge AI curriculum, because I think right now we are talking about UNO Q and the Edge AI side of it. So we now have a choice that, we have a 1-semester course on Edge AI, we have a 2-semester course, the 8 credit. And finally, we just are launching also a course on the minor degree course on Edge AI, which is close to 18 credit, So these are the 3 options available. So those institution who wants to go into the research side of it, they can take possibly the 2-semester course, where they start from the prototyping and going there, or come from the MTech level to the BTech level and all, So that's where we are,
Okay, we'll take a photograph to announce this new curriculum. Fabio, please come. This is the official now Edge AI curriculum for higher education that we're launching. And then, of course, more to come. Please, Hardik, please. You did all the work. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Naval. Thank you, Mukesh. Thank you. All right. Now let's see, I know we're running out of time, but we'll make this work. How do we scale this to industry? Right? I think that's the most important question. Yes, we're doing this innovation, great, love it. We need to take it to industry. We have a partner, Judge Group, which is a partner with us globally. They do a lot of work for us in the US. They do a lot of projects for us in India. and they also have this unique advantage of having the mindset of having a constraint plus, very innovative mindset and creative mindset, which can work for solutions in the US and in India. I'd like to invite on stage the Chief Technical Officer, Mr. Kanesh Agarwal, please, if you could come on stage. And also Nitish Kumar, who's a solution architect, and Prashant Yadav, who's a solution architect, to do a demo and show us live how this thing works in the industry. So, Kanesh, welcome. Thank you for coming. Please, wrap it up. Tell us how this is going to scale. And that's the clicker.
Thank you. Thank you, Gunit. So yes, as an industry participant, I think the major challenge, because we work across different industries, and our focus as a company has always been on research and development, prototyping early, identifying and solving the business problems. And the major challenge for us from an industry perspective is that how to solve this problem early, how to prototype this very quickly. And that's where this partnership really helped us, because we were able to collaborate. So the solution that used to take us months and identifying the issues later, we were able to do that in months to weeks and weeks to days. So we were able to use this new board, and we were able to do that in just 7 days. So if you look into the technical synergy, right, we were able to use the efficient neural network processing with AI accelerators. We were able to use real-time sensors as well to bring in that. And we were able to use scalable edge-native connectivity as well. So that was the technical synergy that we were able to do. From our expertise perspective, because we have focused a lot from an industry perspective across different industries, our focus was on agriculture. So agriculture is an industry where we have focused a lot. We have collaborated with Ministry of Agriculture. We participated at an industry and academia level as well with these ecosystem. And if you look into this, we bring those domain-specific AI models. And for the demo that my team will be demonstrating, Nitish and Prashant, we are focusing on a model where we are trying to identify weed. And so it's a good model that can be done into a robotic as well. So it's a good convergence of robotic, edge AI implementation on the ground. So what we have done is that we have integrated sensor suites and control logic for autonomous detection. So that's a very, very powerful prototyping that can be done in days. And then it is an end-to-end system integration from embedded to cloud dashboard. So from a scalability perspective, because you have a prototype and then you want to test it, and you want to create those test beds, and we were able to execute that test beds on the cloud. So that really helps us, because then we were able to change configuration from a software perspective, execute and see the performance on a real-time basis, and how this is helping us. So from a strategic impact, right, if you're looking into technology transformation in the agriculture sector, it's very important for us to build these feasibility of these prototypes very early in the cycle. So we were able to execute that. Obviously, when you are looking into the sustainability, because sustainability is a bigger area, and if you have a board that is available which has a good energy footprint where you can reduce that significantly, then obviously you're improving the sustainability footprint as well, right? And obviously, it's important that you prototype, you build a product, but commercialization is something very important. So if you're able to identify issues early in the game, then it's easy for you to commercialize that early and make revenue from that. So when it comes to value proposition, right, it's very important to have a good edge hardware reliability and the application intelligence. So we were able to converge them together to ensure that we are able to empower the agricultural ecosystem. Okay. So the whole idea is to be smart, responsible, and scalable for the digital agricultural system. So from scale to real world, which is a production-grade smart agriculture system. So what we are trying to do here is that multiple field devices. So if you want to deploy it, as I was talking about scalability, right? You can do that on tractors, you can do that on drones, multiple use cases, you can deploy that and execute that. And each node publishes to unique topics as well. When it comes to fleet management, so I want to have different robots, I can have different drones, and I want to configure them with different configurations, I'll be able to do that, right? And the best part is the data pipeline. I can store the detections, I can do that on snapshots. So when it comes to logging of the prototype, the results validation, I'll be able to do that and I have the validation logs available. Now, when it comes to real-world features, it's about precision spraying, right? Because what we were able to build in like 7 days, we were not that competent that you were able to build a prototype in 2 days, that some of the students were able to. But it took us 7 days to build and identify these weeds and identifying that, how you can spray only on them. From a safety and reliability, because from a compliance perspective at an industry level, when you build solutions, you have to build solutions at a scale level. So safety and reliability is very important, and we were able to those cooldowns, rebound logics, and fail-safe. And when it comes to explainability and the monitoring, that's important. So that is something that we were able to execute. Now I'll invite Nitish and Prashant to take it forward and demonstrate what we were able to build. Thank you.
So we just want to start with the Arduino UNO Q board. So when the open source hardware and the open source software integrates, then it comes our impactful AI. So over here, we have used everything which is available in the market. Any organization, any enterprise, even a school, college can do a project on it. So all the software which it is running, it is open source, and obviously Arduino is also open source. So over here, we have trained a basic model for a specific 3,000 images around, and we have done the training on using TensorFlow Lite. Everybody knows that. So the images you could see over here, we have integrated all the sensors in a serial daisy chain, and all the data is coming onto the board directly. And after that, in order to go ahead and give you the instant results, complete model is running. It will take an image, process the image, and tell that whether it is a crop or a weed, and perform the action at the same time. So it has a servo which can go ahead and rotate the pesticide sprayer to the exact location. Then we have a distance and a movement sensor. Apart from that, there is a relay attached to it, and relay can turn it on and off at the same time. So you can go ahead and check, you can also come to our booth to watch the demo. So we didn't have much time to explain it completely. So the model is completely trained on the open source side. So in order to get an impactful AI, this is the basic model which we have trained. And it's completely working project, and it can be scaled to a industry level.
I think the crux of today's discussion was that the future of AI will not be built by a few, but it will be built by many. And that journey starts with access. Thank you for being part of this conversation. We look forward to building this future together. And to end this, I'll invite Fabio, Guneet, and everyone who participated for a group photograph, please.